plenty of people are above the law, particularly corporations.
Yeah. Plenty of people are above the law in America. I mean, this is, and again, like I kind of like whenever I say these things, I feel like such an asshole because there are communities in America that have always understood this to be true, who have been targeted, who have lived with laws that were designed to put them in prison, like black and brown folks and the drug laws in America. But there are plenty of people in this country that are above the law. I mean, take, for example, I can show on TikTok and Twitter, and I do often, how Amazon lied in writing to the DOJ. And it wasn't, Amazon can't do anything. Amazon's a company. Only humans can do anything. So I can show humans that lied to the Department of Justice. Do you think prosecutors in the Eastern District of Virginia are charging these men with lying? They aren't, and they won't, even though they wasted enormous sums of taxpayer dollars, enormous resources within the FBI and for federal prosecutors. And it's fine. And the message that gives is that Amazon's lawyers can go ahead and do that again whenever they want to, or anyone, right. Google, anybody. So yeah, there are lots of people who are above the law in this country. And unfortunately, one thing I really don't like that's happened in the past 4 to 6 years is that we now think of like weaponization of the DOJ. We think it's a right-wing issue. We think about like political weaponization, but I would say more than political weaponization, it's corporate. It's corporate weaponization, right? It's corporations who can use the DOJ to do their bidding, to go after business partners, competitors, like, anybody they want. There are so many companies in this country that have been crushed by DOJ investigations that were startups that could have, brought so much innovation into the world and never got to. And so I just think it's really unfortunate.
Can I ask you, it's gone up until this year. What exactly was the resolution? Was the DOJ like, hey, just kidding, well? Or is there a resolution?
So nobody's ever asked me this, but I'd love to tell you because, so it was in January, and I at the time did not know that like the DOJ never vacated pleas. In my like magical thinking world, I was like, of course they're going to vacate these pleas. It's the right thing to do. This is going to happen. And one day in January, I got a phone call from our lawyers that it had appeared on the docket in the plea cases that they were being vacated. And so the next day there were conversations with federal prosecutors. Like they hadn't told my husband or any of these other people, there were conversations with federal prosecutors that the investigation was over. We were told there were many, many meetings about it within the DOJ, but that it was the right thing to do to vacate the pleas. So they did. And I think the federal prosecutors kind of felt like heroes. And I'm like, you're not a hero for vacating something that should have never happened because like we lost everything, right? Like the process was the punishment here. You should do something to try to make it right. But the investigation was over. And then we said, well, can we get declination letters, which are like official letters that you could like present to the public or put on the internet that the investigation is over, because there's a lot on the internet that the investigation happened. And the prosecutor said, we don't do that here in the Eastern District of Virginia, but we're telling you. So, so that was that. That was that.
Oh, yeah. So has your husband been able to get back to real estate, get back to work?
Yeah, so now he's working again. There were a lot of years where he wasn't really because of the specter of the investigation. And, there are a lot of people who will never speak to him again and won't touch him with a 10-foot pole because they're afraid of Amazon. And he lost millions of dollars of work he had contracted for with his company. And so, my husband has sued Amazon in state court in Washington. He's already won part of it, but more to come, right? Like you just have to find a way to, our goal is to make sure Amazon doesn't do this to anybody else ever. And hopefully we can cause or bring about some conversation about civil forfeiture in America, because that is the biggest platform we have to try to change something for people that don't have the resources we do to fight. And so we're just trying to get to justice, but it's also it's exhausting because we also have to raise 4 kids. We have to, still pay for legal bills because Amazon is appealing the loss in civil court. So like, we're still dealing with Amazon. They're just like monsters. Like and the other thing is like, we don't have any money, right? So you're sitting here, it's like, even if you were to somehow get all of this overturned and go to trial, like, why would you? We don't have any money. What are you doing?
And also, I hope, in my experience covering Amazon's union busting, there's not a lot of lawyers that want to go up against Amazon, even if they have a case for a lot of career and political reasons. But Sure seems somebody needs to look at Amazon's employment contract. I
Yeah,
don't know if it's any different than what it was when your husband worked there, but
it is.
tell me.
It is different now. I mean, it went during my husband's tenure at Amazon, they came to him and said, "We'll give you, I think it was $500 or something to sign our new contract." And he said, "No, thank you." They know what they're like, they know, right? But it is different now, but it's just silent on the things that explicitly allowed before. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, and we are like, to your point, and I think this is something that's really important. There are very few lawyers that are willing to go up against Amazon, like to find attorneys that are willing to fight and like fight very fiercely for my husband was is a testament to those lawyers. We had Alex Little and Adam Smart. Alex was previously with Burn Foreman, and Adam is with Burn Foreman now. And um, we're really lucky that they would even fight.